Welcome to helpingtesters.com. So in this session, we're going to see in brief about correlation. So let's continue with our previous session. See here previously we have used word equal to all and we discussed it will capture all the values. But let's see how it will be captured. So I just pasted our correlation function which we created in our script. So let's see how these values will be created. So these values will be captured in your correlation by underscore 1 equal to the whatever the value 1, and after that likewise it will capture all the values whatever it finds as part of your response. So here we have the four values, right? So we will be having four values with the proper respective index. So here index 4. So let me put down all the values here. So it will in your replay log you will be finding all the values like this. So along with this extra, it will also give some extra value for this correlation, that is nothing but flight underscore id equal to count. It means it will give the total number of occurrences for this left and right boundaries for this parameter. So it will, since we are having now four values which matches with similar left and right boundaries, so it will give the count as 4. Okay, so whenever you are, if you want to substitute the respective value, if you want to capture all the values and if you want to get any third value, so in your script you can substitute like this. If you want to get the third occurrence, you can mention it as flight id underscore 3. So this is the case whenever you mention word equal to all. But if you mention, though there may be n number of occurrences, and if you want to say some third occurrence directly, you don't need to mention word equal to all. Instead that you can mention word equal to 3. So in this case it won't get all these values. It will get directly like flight id equal to, so let me type that, flight id equal to and respective third value. Okay, and we won't get any count, though we are using word e, it won't get any count because we are specially mentioning that which particular value that we want to capture, so that if it is capturing, it will show up the value. Otherwise it will throw an error like so and so value with the proper, with the left, with the given left and right boundaries is not captured. So here what I want to say is, if you use any specific number directly, we won't get anything like this flight id underscore count. This is only comes whenever you mention word equal to all. So this is exclusive case for word equal to all. So word equal to all will give respective index with a 1, 2, 3, 4 or n number of occurrences, that whatever, and the finally it gives the count for that particular correlation. So let's look at how we implement this in our script. So before implementing this, we must be having n number of, like we must be having multiple flight IDs already booked. So let me do that. I'm booking multiple flight IDs under itinerary, flights, book, book. So one booking is done, and flights, let's say some different locations. So I'm booking multiple flights, so we should be having multiple records in our itinerary. So let's go back to the itinerary. So here in our itinerary we have three values. Let's look at how word equal to all will bring all the respective values. Okay, so here just we are modifying, we are adding some extra things so called as odd equal to all, odd equal to all. So it will bring up all the values with the respective index. Let's replay it once. If you look at here, see I just put a breakpoint here, so that's why it has come to this step and it has passed my script. So if you look at, as we just seen, it has given me all the possible occurrences with the given left and right boundaries with the appropriate index. So here we have manually seen that three flights are there. Similarly, to match that, so we are able to capture with this left or right boundaries, we are able to capture three flight IDs. So flight ID 1, flight ID 2, flight ID, and at the end it is also showing the count of the how many occurrences. So here we got the occurrences, occurrences equal to 3. Now let's look at how to substitute if you are not putting word equal to all. Okay, so instead of whenever you explicitly mentioning word equal to some value, let's look at how it is substituting or how to substitute it. Let me stop my debugger. So I'm mentioning here, let's say I want to delete the third flight or third booking, so I'm mentioning it here 3. So let's go back and run it. So far we are having 3. So once reply is done, we will be getting only 2. Let's stop it. So unfortunately we got some error, so we can ignore for it. Right now just I want to show that it is picking up the third value or not. So since we mentioned word equal to 3, so whenever you look at here, we can go to the replay log. See, we got the, it is substituting the value here. So whenever you're seeing any parameters substituting or create saving parameters, if you want to go to the respective step, I'm going to show one easy step. So if you want to highlight or if you want to directly jump into that particular request, just you go to your replay log and double click on it, so it will directly jump your script into that appropriate request. So it means it is capturing that correlation value here, and if you double click again here, so it is showing that it is substituting that correlation value here. So either this is not only the blue line, it may be any line. So if you double click on your replay logs, it will take you to the appropriate request where it is presenting. So let's go back and verify. So it has previously we have seen 3 flights, right? So if you have remembered, the third value is a 1120. So here it is directly substituting the flight ID. This is how we handle whenever you do the explicitly mentioning any value to capture. Let's go back to the word equal to all. So if you use word equal to and sometimes you will be in a specific need that out of these all correlation values, you want to pick one value randomly. To do that concept, we call it as a randomization. Now let's look at how to pick a random value from the list of captured correlations. So for that we will be using a special function called LR param array random. LR param array random. So this is the function by default which comes with the load runner or virtual user generator. So we will make use of picking a random value out of this all the list of matching values. So previously this is the LR parameter random which we are using now from the load runner 11.5. So before that we have to use some random logic, because before to that this LR parameter random function was not there. So before that we were using some random method to do that randomization, but as of now we don't need to learn about it because we're already having one ready-made function which is available. So let's do that, how to do this. Okay, now let's look at what this LR parameter random will do and what it takes. So LR parameter random will take whatever the correlation value which is having multiple occurrences. Okay, so we need to supply the respective correlation ID, respective correlation name to the LR parameter random. So the return, it will return the whatever the string it will find, it will automatically picks one random and it will return that value to your script. So now there is something we should be having to capture that random value, right? So for that I'm going to create an array. Let's nothing but let me create char random flight ID. So we already know that flight ID is not more than 15 characters, so that I'm selecting it as a 15, or just for the safe side I'm just making it as a 20. Now we're going to tell that LR param array random to save whatever the random flight ID it captures to save into this character. It returns a character, it returns LR param array random returns a string, so we are asking it to save it into the random flight id character array. So let's look at how to save that value into the, how to whatever the random value written by the lr param array random into flight id. So for that we will be depending on one more one more c function, that is nothing but strcpy. strcpy will always, so this is a completed function. strcpy will always copy the values from the right side to left side. So whatever the random value that is being captured by the lr param array random will be copied into the character array, nothing but random flight id. So let's run it and verify whether it is capturing or not. So far we don't know whether it is, we assumed that lr param array random captures the random value, but let's look at whether it is capturing it or not. Let's look at here. So don't worry about the right side screen, just we are trying to make out of this everything using the replay log. So our replay is done. Let's go back to the end. So either you can also go to the respective line in the replay log just by right click on the which line you want to see and click on go to replay. So it will be going there. See, it has randomly picked up this value, nothing but it has picked automatically the first value. So it is saving the value into random flight, that we haven't seen that. So in order to see that, if you want to see some value which is there in one character array or in anything, we will make use of one special load runner function called lr output message, so that it will write the output into your replay log. Okay, let's look at how this works. So lr output message will be taking the two kind of, either it may be two kind of or one kind of argument. So let's look at the two kind of arguments, since we want to see the value whatever there in the random flight id. So this is the way. So here percentage s means, since it is a character array, so we are mentioning it as representing using this percentage s. So I'm closing it here, and we need to substitute which we want to see. So percentage, the value will be substituted here and we will see the output. So we can also make some statement here. So the value in random flight id, so this placeholder will be substituted by the random flight id. So now let's replay it once and we will see whether it has got the value or not. So now we just seen one more new function here, lr output message. Let's look at it. So replay is done. So if you want to see whether it is actually giving any output or not, just select that statement, go and right click and go to the replay log. So it will take you to the appropriate line. Go to the replay log. See, it is showing that whatever the string that I have written there, the value in the random flight id is flight id blah blah blah, right? So we have learned two things here, strcpy and lr output message and lr param array random. So this is one of the new thing that we learned, to get some random, so strc to get the some random value from the list of correlations. And we also learned about strcpy to copy any value from one character array to another character array, or nothing but one string to another string. And lr output message, if you want to print something on your replay console or replay log, we will make use of lr output message. So in our going forward session, we will make more use of lr output message statement or this method. Now we are going to see how it would be substituted in our request directly. So we cannot directly substitute random flight id, this whatever the character array, in our request, because substitute in your request, it must be in the form of a parameter. So right now this is a character array. Now in our next session we are going to see how to convert this character array into a parameter, load runner parameter, which can be substituted in your request.